Shalom, shalom. We're in the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge Biblical Scripture Breakdown class. Right here with Priest and Captain Natazak and Shah, the Isupk. Everybody just sign in for attendance. Like we're getting a little late start here. All right. So we got some questions in the room. Everybody just go ahead and type them in. I see we got Officer Natazak Ra for the First Samuel chapter 22 and verse 17. Lock it. Let's get to that. First Samuel 22 and 17. Let's see. First Samuel chapter 22, verse 17. I guess I was just very surprised that an Edomite had rank in Saul's kingdom, that he used him to unalive 85 brothers and sisters. So let's take a look. All right. So, of course, King Saul was the first king of the nation of Israel. We were still not a fully functioning with all 12 tribes united as one until King David. But the nation overall, we had a king. He just did not have as great a power and influence that King David did there. So 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 17, it says, and the king said unto the footmen that stood about him, the footmen, the soldiers that standing around him, turn and slay the priest of the Lord. You understand? Of course, by this time, for those of you that don't know the backstory of what's going on, King Saul was replaced. King Saul was given an order by the Most High to make war with the other nations of people. To make war with them, King Saul was supposed to wipe out a specific tribe of Edom, known as Amalek. He did not do that. That is why Amalek, who is the so-called Jewish man, is still here to this day, causing great problems all throughout the world. Well, King Saul was given orders from the Most High to wipe out Amalek. He did not do that. He was supposed to, he didn't. And the Lord rejected him because of this. Now, the Lord chose King David. Well, of course, we know the story of David and Goliath. David slew Goliath, bust him upside the head with some rocks from his slingshot, probably hundreds of miles an hour. Same way the bullets get hurled in the air. You understand? Hit him upside the head, probably split his head open. That's the end of Goliath. You understand? So the Lord chose King David to be the king over all Israel. The problem was the only people that knew it was King David, his son. Was King David himself when he was a young boy, his father Jesse, the prophet Samuel, who anointed him king over the nation of Israel. Those are the people that knew that the Lord, the Most High, chose King David, chose David to be king. Of course, finding out he slew Goliath, King Saul, who's the ruler at the time, he took King David from his father's house and his land to bring him to King Saul's courts, the royal city, the capital city. You understand? Shalom, brother. He took them there so that he can be taught, so that he can be trained, so that he can be an official part of the king's royal army. Of course, King David far surpassed King Saul and every other man at warfare. He was a very skilled warrior and fighter. Even as a young man, he was very skilled. That's how he was able to slay Goliath. Over time, King Saul's actions made it more and more clear. You understand? Shalom, Akim, Yahweh Shem Shabbat, Shalom, sisters. Y'all joining Yahweh Shemar Alathan by Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right. Over time, it made it clearer that the Lord was not with King Saul. The Lord had blatantly rejected King Saul because he got instructions, like I said, to wipe out Amalek. He did not. He got instructions to destroy everything from Amalek. He kept the sheep, he kept the riches, things that were supposed to be burned and destroyed as a test. And these are things that's very important for you to learn in the truth, especially for you brothers coming into the truth that want to become troopers, want to become officers. Following orders is extremely important skill to have. Small minor details could be the difference between you obeying the Most High and getting rulership, or you disobeying the Most High and it caused the lives of millions of people for generations to come, because some people who weren't supposed to be alive anymore are still alive. You understand? That's why the Lord loved King David so much, because King David fulfilled all the Most High's will and he extinct many nations of people. All of those Hittites and Hivites and Jebusites, Girgashites, you understand? The many of them you don't know who they are, because the Lord gave King Saul instructions to get rid of them and he did not. The Lord gave instructions to King David. King David got the job done. You'll never see one of those people ever again. Well, the Lord rejected King Saul, chose King David. King Saul chose to fight against King David, even though the Lord had already anointed him, even though King Saul was losing battles, which was not normal to happen to the nation of Israel, because the Most High with us, he promised that no man would be able to stand before us, because we are the armies of the Most High here on earth. You understand? So what ends up happening, the Lord rejects King Saul. The prophets are telling King Saul, the Lord has left thee. The prophets are no longer getting visions from the Most High to direct King Saul. King Saul is on his own, but as far as the Lord has abandoned him, as far as the nation knows, however, everyone is still following King Saul. Everyone still believes he's the rightful leader. He has the seat in power politically, even though spiritually and as far as the Lord is concerned, he is not in charge. Well, the prophets and the priests all work for the Most High. They don't hold political offices. And that's why it's so important. One of the commandments in the Bible is you don't vote for your leaders. God appoints our leaders. We don't vote for who's in charge of this city and that city and the mayor and the president and the aldermen and what religious leaders you'll follow or vote to put yourself in power. That's not how our people work. We're not politicians. We don't function politically. You don't vote for your leaders. You don't get to choose or decide what rules you will follow and what leader you like to follow. You don't have that option as an Israelite. The Lord appoints our leaders. The Lord appointed King Saul. He removed King Saul. The Lord appointed King David. Everyone was supposed to follow and obey King David. The Bible, however, is not magic. So, as far as everyone is concerned, Saul is still the king, even though the Lord is with David. You understand? So, there's a process of learning these things as they happen throughout the Bible, that the Lord isn't with King Saul. Eventually, King Saul ends up being captured, or he would have been. He commits suicide, falls on his own sword, so that the Hamites, the Canaanites, the Hamites did not get a hold of him, because they'll do terrible things and violate a man and a woman. You understand? If they get a hold of you in some warfare. So you understand? That's what ultimately happened to King Saul. And then there was a civil war that continued on with King David and the men that followed him, and then the men that followed his lineage or his son with the house of Saul, until enough of them died, and then their chief general realized that the Lord was not with him, that the Lord was with King David. You understand? Those records are all recorded in the Kings and the Chronicles, just to catch y'all up on speed to see what's happening. King Saul was a very evil and wicked man, because the Lord left him and he was determined to stay in power. Just like the Christian preachers and religious leaders and political leaders we have, blacks and Hispanics, Native Americans still follow their own chosen and appointed leaders, as opposed to getting in the ISUPK and following the one leader that God appointed, which is Commanding General Yohana. So, just like here in the Bible, there's a process, you understand, so that our people understand this. So this is what's going on. So now when we get to always Matazar's question, 1 Samuel 22:17, it says, and the king said unto the footmen that stood about him, turn and slay the priest of the Lord. It's how you know he's doing something evil. He wants to unalive the priest of the Lord because their hand, their service, meaning their hand, their service is also with David because they stand with David because, of course, David, the Most High, is with King David. And because they knew when he fled, King David at this time, he is on the run. He is what is known as an enemy of the state. Just imagine the sheriff's department, the local law enforcement, the FBI, all the government agencies are looking for this enemy of the state by the order of the king to track down this man, to bring him, you understand, into custody to hold some sort of trial or to be executed. That's what's going on with King David. Of course, he's on the run. The Lord has chosen him. This is when he writes the book of Psalms. You understand? Or writes a good amount of book of Psalms. A lot of that is what you will hear him talking about in the book of Psalms. All right. So he's telling the men to slay the priests because they're obeying the Most High and standing with David. They didn't tell him because King David had the opportunity to slay King Saul many times, but he was raised in King Saul's house, and even though that he was under the threat of death, him and his men, he still honored King Saul's position of authority that he had, even though the Lord had already dismissed Saul and chose David already, and he knew. The rest of the nation did not know. He still did not take this opportunity to disgrace and disrespect King Saul, even though the Lord was done with him. He honored King Saul because he had authority and he was a great man as far as the nation of Israel was concerned. He disobeyed the Most High and the Lord was done with him. You understand? And that's an important lesson to learn, even though King David had the right to be angry and as frustrated and say whatever as possible because he's trying to be killed when the Lord is with him. And this man, King Saul, should not have power, but he does. He still honored him. And that's an important thing about brotherhood. That's a very important skill, and it's a difficult lesson to learn. You understand? That just because you have the power and the opportunity to dishonor your fathers, that doesn't mean that you are supposed to take, you understand, that opportunity to trash and bash and dishonor your fathers or the men that have rulership, you understand, over you. All right? It's very important to understand that spirit. So he said, I'm gonna read 22:17 again from the top. So we're at 1 Samuel chapter 22 and verse 17. And the king, talking about King Saul, said unto the footmen, you understand? It says, said unto the footmen that stood about him, turn and slay the priests of the Lord, because their hand is also with David, and because they knew when he fled, and did not shew it to me. But the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of the Lord. They themselves, and this is what happens when you surround yourself with a wicked man, when an evil man. That's why it's very important to know what the Most High calls good and what the Lord calls evil. By you being around an evil man, in order for an evil man to maintain his power, wicked men have to strengthen him. You understand? Without the Christian church and preachers who are abusing children and robbing the people, there takes other wicked men to be complicit in the evil that he does to make him strong. If the people in the congregation of the church were not committing adultery, were not eating pork, were not celebrating abominable holidays like Christmas, putting up Christmas trees, going Christmas shopping, celebrating Thanksgiving, putting up Halloween decorations, celebrating 4th of July, shaving their face and their head, getting dreadlocks, smoking weed, brothers having sex with other brothers' wives, sisters having sex with multiple men, aborting their babies. If the congregation was not wicked, the preacher would not have any power to rule. You understand? The only reason that the people stay in that congregation is because they are worse than the preacher. That is how they're able to strengthen him in his evil so that he doesn't ever call out any of their evil. You understand? But these men, bound by duty and an oath to serve the royal house, they're still there. But even they know that King Saul is doing a very evil thing. These are Israelites that are not going to unalive the priests because they respect the priests. The priests are an important part of our nation. So are the priests, the prophets. There's an order. Everybody knows that nobody's going to violate that. Everyone can see that he is in a desperate attempt to maintain power that he should not have. But of course, he still does have power. He's the king. The servants would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priest, meaning to take the lives of the priests. Verse 18. And the king said to Doeg, turn thou and fall upon the priests. And Doeg the Edomite turned and fell upon the priests and slew on that day 80. Four is the number four, score is 20. So 80. So you can understand old Quaker English. 80 means 80. So you have 80 and 5. 80 and 5 means 85 persons that did wear a linen ephod. A linen ephod, you understand, is a breastplate with precious stones that represent all the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Each tribe has their own stone that represents them, that the Lord gave a commandment to put to represent the 12 tribes. You understand? Each tribe has their own symbol or their own standard. Each tribe has their own stone as well. All right. 85 priests put down. All right. And Nob, the city of the priests, he smote with the edge of the sword both men and women and children and sucklings. A suckling is a small anything that needs to suck something to stay alive. You got children, newborn babies, and infants. They are sucking breast to stay alive. Newborn cattle and sheep. They're all being weaned, getting milk from their mother. That is what a suckling is. An oxen. You know what an ox is? An ass is. An ass is talking about a donkey and sheep. You know what a sheep is with the edge of the sword. And one of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Atub, named Abiathar, escaped and fled after David. And Abiathar showed David that Saul had slain the Lord's priests. And David said unto the Abiathar, I knew it that day when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul, I have occasioned the death of all the persons of thy father's house. Meaning, I had an opportunity to wipe your entire house out, but out of brotherhood and honor for King Saul, he did not do so. King David tells him, abide with me, stay with me, fear not. For he that seeketh my life seeketh thy life. They want to unalive me, they want to unalive you too. But with me, thou shalt be in safeguard. I got some hitters with me though. You understand? King David was on the run for sure, and they wanted his life. But this is something that you must understand about God, about the Bible, and about that masculine spirit that church ladies and the sodomite and the alternative lifestyle community in the Christian church make everyone think about the spirit of God. You understand? In order for anyone to be safe, who knows what it takes for to have safety from danger, from dangerous, evil men that because they have power and ability, they will use their evil and their power and ability to do whatsoever pleases them. They'll do whatever they can that pleases them. If they want to rob, they'll rob. If they want to unalive, they'll unalive. If they want to steal, if they want to force everyone to follow their customs, follow their traditions, join their whatever, wouldn't you understand? They'll do so because they have power to do it just like any brute beast. You understand? Like any lion. A lion comes, a bear, a lion, it'll take over the territory because he wants to, because he's bigger, he's stronger, he'll attack. What is necessary, you understand, to protect, to have security and safety? Let's see who knows. Y'all type in what's necessary. King Saul was an evil man with great power that God himself had turned on King Saul. But because of his position of power and the fact that he is still alive, he can use his influence and power to do great evil things. You understand? Now, these priests of the Lord were doing their job. They were appointed to do so. They were appointed in the service of the king, and he was an evil man that did evil things to maintain his power after God had abandoned him. What is necessary to be safe from evil men who will do evil things with their power, even though God has abandoned them? Who knows what it takes? We got in here. Who knows what it takes? What is necessary? You understand? What's necessary? What does it take? We need a strong choir. We need people who will sing. We need politicians. We need a vote. That's what it is. We need voting. You got to get your vote heard. Got to get better schools. Got to get rec centers so that all the the kidnappers and the robbers and the people that are breaking it, uh, not quite. Y'all got some good. Y'all got some good answers. Those answers aren't wrong, but it's something important. You understand? Following the law of the Most High is right. It's a little bit more than that. Following the law is right. That's always right. That's correct. The protection of the Most High, you get on it. How does the Lord have protection? How does the Lord, how does the Lord get protection of the Most High? How do you get that protection? For sure, you got to follow the law. For sure, the Lord will protect you. How do you get the Lord's protection? There's an army of evil men that will do evil. They have the power to do evil. God isn't with them, but yet and still they have this power. They'll steal, they'll rob, they'll unalive, they'll kidnap, they'll sell drugs, they'll do whatever. Obeying the man of God, the men of God, having discipline, all right. But these are evil men that don't obey the Most High. These are evil men who don't have discipline, evil men who don't follow God's laws, evil men who don't care about having God's protection. These are evil men. You understand? Maybe I'm not proposing the question properly. Let's get some brothers and sisters. I want to give y'all a little bit more time. We got sisters in here. Let me hear from some of the sisters. How would you stop evil men with power? You combat this. You understand? These men don't care about the law. They don't. They're not interested in being disciplined and obeying the Most High. The Lord has already turned his back on King Saul. How is it that King David can offer this man safety from a wicked man who has power? How can he do that? I'll tell you. I'll tell you. When you hear it, I'm gonna give you a few more moments. And this is a very important lesson that I had to learn as a young man that Commanding General Yohana and General Muhammad had to teach us as a very young man coming into the truth. It's a very important thing that Christians do not understand. They don't understand it. You understand? They don't understand it. Anybody else before I give the answer? Anybody else? All right. What else we got in here? Okay, I take it the rest of y'all is at y'all slavery. Who else we got in here? Everybody make sure you sign in for attendance. If you're watching, sign in for attendance. That like, share, subscribe. This is something very favor. All right. The sister said favor. All right. Y'all giving me good answers. Y'all giving me good answers. It's yeah, the answers that you're giving me is a little bit You call your shalom, brother, to she'll break it down. I'm gonna give it to you. By being strong and courageous, fearing the most high, not the evil ones. Who being strong and courageous? Who? The evil men are strong and full of courage to do evil. They don't fear the most high. They don't care. And this is something that is a very important thing that Christians do not understand. That they take this spirit to get rid of the spirit out of black and Hispanic men with their choirs, trying to get them in programs to be less aggressive, trying to weaken and feminize and break down and make men softer and softer and softer and more timid and more docile and more like mommy. More go along to get along. More if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Trying to do something with all that aggression and that strength and that roar, and that beard, that masculinity. In order to stop evil men, and in order for King David to tell this man that you will be safe with me, you need to have your own mob of killers. You understand? The United States of America is not protected by Congress. The Taliban is not afraid of Congress. When 9/11 happened, they didn't send Congress to go and battle Osama bin Laden. They didn't send the Senate. They didn't send the president. They didn't send the mayors. They didn't send the council members that run all the wards. They didn't send the teachers. They didn't send pastors. They didn't send preachers. They didn't send any religious leaders. They didn't send diplomats, people that talk about peace and give hugs and hand out food and sandwiches and let's just sit down and talk this over. The Bible says to every season under heaven there's a time and a place for every season. And this is a difficult lesson to teach our people because of Christianity. Your nation is not protected because we pray well. The nation is not protected. King David could not offer this man protection because he's full of good prayer and kind words and God loves him. King David could offer this man protection because King David had an army of killers with him. That's how. That's how it's done. When terrorists attacked America, America sent a mob of killers to Afghanistan. America sent a mob of unalivers by plane, by ship, by boat, with missiles and rifles and mortars and tanks and rockets and BMGs and full autos and saws and M249s. You understand? Is it a mob of unalivers? Because that is what it takes to secure a nation. Not church, not good intentions, not prayer, not diplomatic conversation, not songs, not hopes and good wishes. King David didn't have any of that with him. He had hundreds of men under his command with swords. That is how King David was able to offer this man who just barely escaped with his life. I know a lot of you may have seen that video about this mission that General Hyman, that Commander Junior Hanna put together. You understand? On authority with General Katham Gabar in the hand, where the armies of the living God descended upon Harlem, New York, the ones on earth, descended upon Harlem, New York, in that city to provide aid to a people who needed to be rescued, who fled war-torn countries, watching people be unalive, just like this priest saw people be unalive, who barely escaped with his life, just like they're trying to escape with their lives to have a better future. Well, the Chinese man has people that would do so for them. They have their own everything. So do the Arabs and the Africans, the East Indians. So does every people across the world, especially when they get here to America. They are treated like a people. When so called Haitians, so called Venezuelans, Central South Americans, Colombians, Mexicans, Guatemalans, El Salvadorians, Haitians, they don't get that when they come to America. They don't have that protection that they need, like this priest needed, fleeing for his life from wicked men with power that will take his life, just like they took the lives of those other priests. You understand? The protection of the Lord does come from obeying his laws, statutes, and commandments. It does come from obeying the Lord. It does come from being disciplined and keeping his laws. You all were correct. You weren't wrong. It does come from having the Most High's favor by obeying him. You understand? It comes from following the laws. And following those laws get you the Most High's protection. But there's another key element that's very important. It's very important. And it also comes with obeying the men that God set up. Because the first thing that the Lord set up to make us a nation was to lead us out with an army. And no matter how much resources you get, how much prayers you send up, how much well wishes that you offer, how much songs and good intentions, how much of whatever you gather together for yourself to make things wonderful, if you do not have an army to protect it, you are just gathering resources that anyone who has fortified their people can come and take at their will. And that's a very important lesson that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans never learn. You don't defeat wicked men by praying that they stop being wicked. Evil does not go away just because you cry or you're sad or you pray that it disappears. In order to combat evil, there must be a force actively pressing against the evil. Fires don't just go away. There are people who train to fight fires. You understand? Otherwise, the fire is just free to burn and unalive whoever, whatever it chooses until it runs out of fuel. But if you want to stop the fire, some people have to be trained to go and take that fire, put it out. It's necessary. You understand? It's very necessary. That's how you build a nation. That's how King David is able to offer him safety because he doesn't have an army of prayer warriors. He doesn't have an army of choir boys. Commander General Johanna is not raising up prayer warriors. Prayer warriors did not go to Harlem, New York to make sure that God's children, the children of Asher, the children of Israel, the children of Issachar and Levi and Zebulon, prayer warriors did not show up to hope that they were able to get winter provisions. Prayer warriors did not show up to Acuna, Mexico in cartel drug territory with 18 wheelers full of, goods and clothing. Prayer warriors didn't come to El Paso. You understand? Prayer warriors aren't in Indianapolis when Palestinian terrorists drive their truck through the goddamn school. You understand? We're not prayer warriors. Prayer warriors are not men of God. Real warriors is what it takes to be a man of God. And that's a very important lesson there. That's how you stop evil. You understand? That's how it stops. For all the fake Israelites and Christians that believe that everyone should just come together and then magically everything will be resolved, you don't understand the Bible. The Lord is a man of war, conflict, battle. That's how the Lord, that's how you know. That's the Lord's way. You understand? That's right. King David had soldiers ready to mobilize at his order, just like Commander Junior Hunter. That's a very important thing. You understand? On top of obeying the Most High, having the Spirit of the Lord, you must have an army. And that's what Christ raised up. You understand? That's what Christ raised up. That's what Moses did. That's what Joshua did. That's how you have a nation. Of course, King David told him not only was the Lord with King David, but there was still an active enemy seeking his life. Even though the Lord was with King David, that didn't mean King David was safe. You understand? He was not in safety. The Lord was with him, but he said, if you are with me, you shall be in safe guard. That means it's people here that will guard your safety. You're not just safe just because everything is safe. You safe here because it's men that will guard your safety, men that will do something about something and make something happen. You understand? Evil is able to spread because there's nobody fighting against evil. You understand? But if there's a force fighting against evil, then evil got to think twice about how bad it want to be. You understand? So that's what that was about there. King Saul was very wicked. The Lord had left him, and just like when the Lord leaves, you have to find, you understand, whatever resource you can to maintain power, because the Most High is not with you. That's what our leaders have done to this day. And of course, eventually King Saul ends up taking his own life. The Philistines end up capturing him or capturing his body. Benjamite brothers had to go and retrieve it, his body and his armor. Everybody knows King David is the king that the Lord appointed. Further down the line, even still, it took civil war to make us 12 tribes as one nation. You understand? It was never magically everybody just decided, oh, yeah, well, I see the Lord is with them. That's not what's in the Bible. That ain't what's in the Bible. You understand? People came up against Moses, and the Lord had the earth swallow them up alive. That's how people had to find out that the Lord wasn't with everybody. You understand? So that should answer your question. So I can get into my topic there. Um, where we left off last week, we were talking about what the aged woman is preparing, like a very important job that a woman has in preparing the next generation. A woman, of course, does not represent the Most High. A woman doesn't, okay, Most High in Christ. A woman is not made to represent God, contrary to what the Christian church teaches, but a woman does have a very important job, extremely important. And her job is extremely important in this. The majority of any species is a female. You understand? The lion rules the pride and patrols the land, but the lioness is the one that's going to be raising everybody. You understand? The lioness is teaching how to hunt, is teaching how to stalk the prey, how to not rattle the grass, how to be still and quiet to be able to properly capture prey, how to unalive, how to hunt, how to stalk, how to be a lion, how to operate in the pride. There's a very important job that the Lord had for a woman to do that is very vital and essential to the functioning of a nation in every community. This nation, this kingdom, rather, of America, because America is filled with many nations. You understand? The Chinese, the Japanese are separate nations. The Ethiopians, they're a nation. The South Africans are a nation. The Libyans are a nation. You understand? You understand? Those are nations. The East Indians are nations. Polynesians are a nation. You understand? They're not all the same people, but they're all here in America, which makes this kingdom function. But there's a very important skills and lessons that a woman has to instill in the next generation. You understand? So we're gonna go back because it's very vital, and this is why it's written so many times in the New Testament. All right. So I'm gonna just speed through it because we went through a lot of it before when it talks about Titus chapter 2 and verse 3. It says that the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior that become of holiness, and be separate. The word holy means to be separate. Someone that is available for everyone to use. That's not separate. That's not holy. Everyone should not have their feel of you. Everyone should not be able to access you. You understand? There's a ton of problems that sisters have come from being too available. You understand? Your wife should not be available for everybody. That's a problem. All her single friends should not be able to find availability with your married wife. You understand? That could create a problem. You understand? The job as it is in this empire, the job is galvanizing the majority of the slavery rather, is galvanizing the majority of time of our family. That's why these rules, these laws are so very important. We would not be immersed as deep as we are as a nation if our community, if we obeyed the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, we would be like the Chinese, or we would be like the East Indians. The East Indians all work for other East Indians. The Chinese work for other Chinese. If they choose not to, they can immerse themselves into the world of the society around them, but it's not a necessity. If they want to be a doctor, get a job, they can go open up their own practice because they have a society that is separate. Even though this empire of America has Chinese and Africans and East Indians and all the different Europeans and different needs, they all have sections cornered off for their people where they gather resources for themselves. They have a culture for themselves, a language for themselves, an identity for themselves, resources and jobs for themselves. These are important things, and that's why what we were talking about, this is what the Most High said love is. You understand? Love is not a feeling. The Most High gave us a set of rules that we can live by. And he said that this is what love is. You understand? So this is what we're going to. It says that the aged woman teach the young women to like it. Likewise, that they be in behavior as become of holiness, not false accusers, not lying all the time, making up a bunch of stories and tales. You understand? Not giving to much wine, not getting drunk. You understand? Not getting much wine and always drinking, always drinking. A woman that is always drunk and looking chasing happy hour, it'd be very difficult for her to stay in her right mind. It'd be very difficult for her to survey what's going on. If you're always chasing a drink, chasing to get high, chasing the good times, which is what a lot of sisters are taught to do in this society. Life is not about chasing the high and the good times. TLC made a song back in the 90s talking about don't go chasing waterfalls. There's a rainbow when you look at that waterfall, but that waterfall leads to a steep drop. You understand? Like this society has fed our people to want and desire everything. You understand? And it's a bunch of confusion. Hey shalom, all right. So this is what it's saying that the not given to much wine, teachers of good things. You can't be the turn up queen. Can't be all on the internet having strangers pour, not 1492 down your throat. You can't do that. An aged woman is supposed to teach you not to do that. You understand? How to handle your drinks. When to know enough is enough. How to be a lady. It's very important. The majority of the nation are women. Somebody has to teach women 101, women 201, women 301, because a lot of it is not being taught. You understand? To be sober, not to give into much wine. Teachers of good things. What are the good things that they're going to teach? The Lord is going to say once again what he considers to be a good thing. That's why we're reading the Bible. That's why he's instructing the brothers who are in charge of the schools to make sure this is what the sisters are doing because the society in the world will find something to fill the minds of your sisters and your daughters, you understand, and your mothers, if there's not already something filling our people's heads. Right now, everybody is able to pour into our people, and that's a problem because we got a bunch of ideas and thoughts that don't come from us, that don't line with the Most High, that tears our people apart. But then there's a generation that has been around for a while that's able to see how things turn out generation after generation. An aged woman is supposed to tell her, a young woman, and remember, especially in this day and age in society, like, listen, When I was young, I know you got a lot of things available to you now that we did not have. But there are things about life that do not change because of technology. There are things about being a woman that do not change because of the times. There's wisdom that we have as a people that is passed down to us from our God. And there's ways that a woman cannot operate if she is one of us, if she's an Israelite. We cannot be like this. In the world, in the society that you see, it is filled with sisters that do not obey the Most High's commandments, that do not have this righteous and virtuous spirit that the Lord wants on his daughters to have. So you must be careful and learn about these things. And now let me teach you from this aged woman's wisdom that's supposed to be passed down. You understand? Now she's going to be able to teach you what is the virtue, what is this ability and things that Proverbs, the 31st chapter, talks about what is a virtuous woman. So they're going to teach a younger woman behavior that's in holiness. Don't be false accusers. Watch what you say out of your mouth, little girl. Watch what you say. Watch your tongue. Don't get into the habit of lying, making up stories and tattle, and you understand, making up things that are not true. An aged woman is going to do this because she's going to teach good things. But if you are an aged woman and you raise your children lying, like lying about Santa Claus for the sake of Christmas, lying about the tooth fairy for the sake of traditions, lying about the Easter bunny for Easter, lying about Jesus being a oppressor when the Bible says he's a black man, lying about the new year beginning in the winter when the year begins in the spring. If you yourself are lying to the children about who their daddy is, lying about this, lying about that, you are teaching by your actions a bad thing. That's not wise. You can't lie to your children the first 5, 6, 7 years of their life and expect your children to grow up and become teenagers and not tell you a bunch of lies. You understand? And these are very important things because an aged woman, you're going to teach a younger woman by what they see you do, what they hear you say. You understand? So this is what the scriptures are saying. And by us having a foundation of obeying the Most High, this is going to change our outlook on what's right and what's wrong. You understand? Most of our people in our homes are being raised just by mom alone. You understand? So there's a lot of wisdom and pieces that are missing that the Lord intended to be a part of our upbringing, but we're not getting as a people. That's why the Lord always rose up the prophets, which are only in the Isupk, the men of the Lord, to give you the universal practical knowledge that can be applied to every situation. You understand? So let me see. Tradition, bear with me just a moment. That's why it's very important to come into the truth. Mind you, he's writing these things about sisters that are in the truth. You understand? These traditions that we have inherited, like Christmas, like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, these traditions, it's important to unlearn them. Not only because they make the Most High angry, you understand, but they're lies. And if we want to start to build, that's why the ISUPK is the home of the truth. If we want to start to build a foundation of truth amongst our people, there are so many lies that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans believe in. Our people believe in black magic. Our people believe in voodoo. Our people believe in praying to crystals. Our people believe in witchcraft and burning sage to ward off evil spirits. Our people believe in praying to the zodiacs and the Sagittarius and the Capricorn. Our people believe that magically you'll do nothing, have no works, never apply yourself, don't go to school, but you'll go to church, you'll sing, you'll throw money, you'll cry, and then magically God is going to drop you lottery money falling out the sky like a goddamn genie. That's a sucker. And Christianity teaches us to be suckers. Like if you spend 20, 30, 40 years of your life building yourself up, being this good, strong individual, I got all this power. Then once you've accomplished everything you want to accomplish in your life, In the later stages of your life, now you want to go and try to have a family and look for a man after you've done and fulfilled everything there was for you to do in your life. That's backwards. Christianity teaches our sisters to think this way because it teaches our people to be married to the empire. That's what Egypt wanted. That's why they were throwing the firstborn children into the river so that the women and the children they raise up would be entirely married to the empire, married to the job, to the business, to the taxes, to the grind, to the shopping, chasing the lust, chasing the fantasy, trying to find somewhere to belong. The stability of the nation is building up the man because the man carries the seed, the culture, the heritage, the language, the nation. That's a very important skill. From that stability or the roof of a home, everything else is built and shaped around this thing. And an aged woman who has seen the generations where families were filled with mother and father and children, then also throughout generations got to see families being raised, removing that father, removing that man and his authority, removing his skill and his ability to notice a problem and stop it before it gets bigger 15 years down the line. An ability to see who is good and should be welcomed in this house and what is bad and should not be welcomed in this house. What behavior is acceptable? What is too strong? What is too weak? What is him being, you understand? What is a proper time and response for something that's not based on emotion? It takes a man to have that balance because a woman by nature is an emotional creature. She's built and driven by emotion. But an aged woman who's had years of well instruction, you understand, is going to teach things to a younger woman. So this is what we're going. This is to repair and put things back in the proper order that the Most High intended. It says, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, have a clear mind about what you're doing, what you're wearing, what your image says about you, how it's going to reflect on the rest of your sisters. What type of person, what type of sister, what type of person are you going to be? What type of reputation are you building? Are you going to earn a bad reputation for the rest of your sisters, for your fathers, for your brothers, for your daughters, for your granddaughters? You understand? Like these things carry from generation to generation. The Bible says the blessing of the father established houses, but the curse of the mother root out generations. And this is an important thing to learn. You understand? This is what she's teaching, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to have a mindset about what they're doing. You understand? To love their husbands. That's a very important thing. I hear more and more sisters talking about wanting to be mothers, but not wanting to be wives. That's out of order. Thinking that child support and 911 is going to make up for you not having a husband, you are, raising a shooter. Statistically speaking, this child without having a father has a very high percentage of not finishing school and ending up incarcerated and living in poverty without when you remove that father from the equation. These are statistical facts that is done over decades and decades of data analysis. Yet, and still, our sisters are being taught by aged women not good things, non sober things. They've been taught this and it's been passed down from generations. That's why when you come into the truth, this is an important skill that an aged woman needs to fight to pass down to the next generation because this spirit has not been passed down. You understand? You might not believe it, but there are many sisters who claim, who believe themselves to be educated, that in their mind, they want to be a mother, they plan on having children, but the idea and the sobriety and the wisdom from the Most High that sex equals marriage and you are permanently tied to this man you're getting this baby from, that isn't there. It's just, I want to be a mother and I'm going to be a mother. And, I don't have no plans on being no wife. I just want the baby from him. And, he can go on about his way. I just get what I want. And that's it. Like, that's a very non sober thinking. You understand? Because someone's going to have to prepare your sons and daughters. Someone's going to have to teach him how to interact with the police, how to speak a certain way, how to operate and function, how to navigate what's a good friend and a bad friend, how to navigate what's a dangerous situation. You understand? What does the Most High want? When you're full of feelings and emotion and you don't know any better, like there's an important skill that our people don't realize that God withheld from a woman by nature. But an aged woman is going to teach a younger woman how to love her husband because the aged woman has a husband. You understand? Like the Lord didn't make a woman to just be single running around everywhere. That's confusion. That's why it's all this competition between sisters. You got nobody telling you to cut all this nonsense out. You're busy fighting another sister. You understand? All of this 20,000 wigs and 900 colored fingernails and you understand a whole damn cape attached to your eyes with eyelashes. You understand? That's mainly for other women. Men don't need most of that. And the men say they don't need most of that and don't want most of it. But this is sisters keeping in competition with other sisters because all of this loose ability is just free everywhere, just bouncing and fighting up against each other. The Lord never made life to be that way. It's ton of confusion because nothing is in its proper place. You understand? And the Lord wants to fix this. And there's an important job and a work and a force to fix all of the problems and all of the evil that is being done to our people. There's a way to fix that. And that's what the Isupk is here for. That's what the Spirit of the Lord is for. That's what the truth is for. That's why when you get into First Corinthians, he says that a woman is not allowed to teach the Bible. You understand? Her dreams and aspirations should not be about serving God because an aged woman is going to teach you your dreams and aspirations is about being a good mother and a good sister and a good wife and keeping yourself chaste and keeping yourself from this and being sober and gathering virtue and ability so that you can forward the next generation with skill and ability. You understand? Sisters would have a lot less time to fight each other and get in trouble and get into knife fights at the carryouts and all over the world getting kidnapped if you was somewhere sewing a quilt, sewing garments, taking care of these kids that's running the street shooting everybody. How about breastfeeding the baby, putting the baby down for a nap? How about that? How about going over that homework? Apparently, the damn education statistics get worse and worse by the hour. They just covered some story. Some brother missed 280 something days of school in 1 year. He got straight F's, and they just kept passing him to the next grade. Can't read, thinking he about to graduate, damn near 20 years old. You understand? Like there's an important job and a task that is before our people. It's very important. And the only way we get back structured on the focus on how to fix these problems is for our people to come into the truth and start to get sober about what it is that we're doing as a nation. So it says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands. You understand? What is love? Love is keeping the commandments. To understand that you cannot leave this man. You cannot go and just find something better to get happiness somewhere else. You understand? Like that's a very damaging thing that destabilizes the entire nation. No one can build anything on a foundation if everybody knows, at the slightest whim of unhappiness, everything that you've worked for since you were a teenager, some woman would just up and take it, including your kids, your house, half of everything you work for, and you'll be paying her a ransom to see your kids, and you'll be paying a bill damn near for the rest of your life while her and Project Plat split it. You understand? In your house. So these are important things because this destabilizes us as a people. Families control communities. Communities make towns. Towns make cities. Cities make counties. Once we start to repair the actual foundation of a nation, then we can start to fix everything. That's why Commander Journey Ahana teaches us the importance, you understand, of what it means, the responsibility of what it means to be married, to take a wife or to take wives, or to be a wife and be a mother. Do you understand? To serve the Most High, to keep the traditions that have been passed down from the Lord that we as a people have to fight to hold back onto because we've been disconnected from it for so many generations. You understand? We are fighting to reclaim and reestablish ourselves as a nation that has been in exile for hundreds of years. Not like 200 or 300, like 600, 700, like hundreds of years we've been in exile. You understand? So, also understanding with sobriety that we are building something that is going to be different from the previous generations of what we had. You understand? We're rebuilding things that have been torn down so that that village that everybody talks about, it takes a village to raise a child. You understand? The Isupk is rebuilding that village and turning that village into a nation so it can be multiplied all across the earth wherever these 12 tribes are. You understand? To love their husbands. You understand? They may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to be sober and love their husbands, and be sober about what you're saying, about what you're doing, about what you are presenting before your children, what they're seeing you do, what they're hearing you say, because they're going to learn from your actions. They're going to repeat what you say. They're going to learn from your actions. That's an important thing, important lessons children learn. The next generation learns from what they see. You understand? So this is what the Lord wanted. All right. To love their husbands, to love their children. You understand? To not take out their frustrations on their children. Plenty of us remember growing up, that the time that you usually got chastised about something, in many cases, not every sister was like this, but in many cases, when you are receiving some sort of chastisement, is usually for most of the nation, most of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, it is from the mother. It's from mom. You understand? And mom is usually airing out her frustrations about things. Could be from the job, could be from work, could be from the society around her not functioning the way that she needs for a society. You understand? The way that all of our people need. From not having that father, not from being alone, from being on her own, from not understanding how things work. Damn, the car that broke down, the smoke detector going off, the pipes ain't working, something going on with the lights, not being able to prioritize and put things into its proper perspective. That's why the Lord said the head of every woman is the man, so that the man can organize these things so that a woman is not just running everywhere worrying herself to death. Sisters know you can worry yourself to death. Oh my gosh, where do I do this? Where do I got this? Or do I have this? You understand? Like the Lord made a man to be able to manage and put these things in place. That's a very important skill that the Lord put into a man. That's how men start all of these companies that become these stores, that become these cities and these buildings and these factories that create all of these things that we see. Like the Lord, you understand, set things up this way. And it says to love their children. What does it mean to love your children? To teach your children, to teach them to obey the Most High, not teach them Santa Claus and Christmas, to teach them that they are Israelites. You understand? To teach them that God has a dietary law. This is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. To teach some, we can't eat pork. We can't eat crab, shrimp, and lobster. You understand? We can't do this. So that when they come with this, when you're not around, mommy said we're not supposed to eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. God don't want us to eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. What is this? Hey, come here, taste this. Kim. What is this? Is that pork? Mommy said y'all be eating pork. We're not supposed to eat pork. Is this turkey? If it's not turkey, I don't want it. If it's beef, okay, it's beef. Okay, I'll take the beef. You understand? Children may be little, but the spirit of the Lord is not little. You understand? The Bible says, train up a child in the way that he should go. And when they are old, they will not depart from it. Like Like us as a people, we've not received training. We've been taught survival. Survival is not training. You understand? Go to work, pay a bill, pay your rent, pay your insurance, pay your car note, get your license, have your registration. That's not living. That's survival. That's not training. You understand? And the ISUPK brothers and sisters get training. Have your stuff together. Learn to follow in order. Learn to not be emotional about everything. Let's learn how to think critically. Let's learn how to do things at a certain time. Let's learn how to have actions and think about our actions because it's going to reflect on people that you care about. If you do this, then everyone will look at your people this way. If you're getting high, everyone will look at your people as the people that get high. If you understand all on Instagram starting beef and fighting, everyone will look at your people as the people who only want to beef and fight with each other. You understand? And this is what they'll think when it comes down from a decision to am I just going to take one of their lives or kidnap them, or are these important people whose lives matter to them and I should treat them accordingly? Like the Lord said, this would be our wisdom and our understanding. Is this a people that I can run scams on, or is this a united people? Do all of them believe the same thing? Or do some of them believe they from here? Some of them believe this. Some of them Muslim, some of them Christian, some of them Egyptology. You could come and wipe a people out like that. You understand? You can wipe them out easy. Start teaching them to love everybody around them. Next thing you know, you can pay the other people, hey, listen, I know me and you had a disagreement, but I got these suckers over here. You can get rich off of them. They love anybody. You come over here, you set up right next to them, they will accept you. They won't look at you as an invader. They'll accept you as one of their own. Are you a Rasta? Me Rastas too. Come on in. You family. We all from Africa. What? You Asian? What? I do kung fu too. Come on in. Yeah, we family. What? You like hip hop? I like hip hop too. You cool. You get invited to the cookout. There's no standards, no gates anywhere. But now, if you taught properly, now your children learning standards. Now they learning. Nah, I know everybody around here having Christmas and Thanksgiving, but you know what? I don't celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving. What? What did your parents get you for Christmas? My daddy told me we don't celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate Christmas. My mommy be trying to help me do Christmas, but I don't want no Christmas toys. God don't want to celebrate Christmas. Now you put the spirit of the Lord in that child. That child can wield some real power. You understand? Now that he got God's dietary laws, the evil teachers that want to abuse and take and do terrible things to children, they only have power to do evil because the Lord is not protecting our children. But if you love your children, which is teach them to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, the Lord will watch over your children. The Lord will keep your children from the old knucklehead drug dealer trying to get them hooked on weed, telling them to skip school, telling them to get in this car. The car's stolen. Everybody in the car high. You in the car riding around, and the police stop you. You understand? Like with the spirit of the Lord is alive. It's not, a sentence in a book somewhere. The Lord is really alive. You understand? Like he lives, and his spirit will be with your children. He said, if you reject me, I shall reject your children. But he said, teach these laws diligently to thy sons and daughters, that their days may be long upon the earth. You understand? So that way, you won't have to worry about young brothers and sisters catching stray bullets, getting kidnapped, going missing, going to church, the damn preacher doing terrible things, the damn drug addict cousin, the nephew just get out of prison, staying at Big Mama's house, abusing all the damn nieces and nephews and little cousins because everybody's poor. The Lord will protect you from evil if you obey the Most High. The Lord will be with your future generations if you don't disrespect the Most High. You understand? Said, teach them. And how are they going to learn this? How are the aged women going to learn these things? Because if they learn anything, they will learn from their husbands at home. Because the Bible is about empowering that husband with all the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in the scriptures. so that he can lead properly that home, or those homes that he's over, those families, those communities. So he can give that wisdom of the Most High and be a father to the fatherless. That's what the Spirit of the Lord is for. We've always had these problems as a nation, and we've always had to fight to rebuild our nation over and over again. And the only reason we've had that is because we've gotten away from obeying the customs that the Most High gave us. They're written right here. You understand? They're written right here. They haven't gone anywhere. The Bible says the Lord changeth not. He said, I change not. All right, together they shall live. Salaki, that they days may be long. Bear with me just a moment. Trying to get that in the law so that I can give that to y'all. All right. It's written a couple of times. It says in Deuteronomy 11 and 19 is one. It says, and ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thine house. When you sitting in the house, you're supposed to speak to them. Sit down and watch them cartoons, see what them kids is learning, man. All kind of things they sneak in. I watched some movie with it was some cartoon, and it was some dog. Some dog is supposed to be Superman's dog or whatever. Some cartoon. Watch a couple of minutes of that, and he talking about, yeah, that's him. That's Superman. Superman, he got him a new girlfriend, and now this would happen to my partner. That's Jim. Jim was Sheila's favorite dog, but Sheila and and Donetta, they get married. That's her fiance. They just slip little things in there, and he says, when thou sittest in thy house, you say, now listen, son. Now listen, I need you to hear me, daughter. Listen. You see this right here? They say, yes, daddy, you see this right here? This is just a cartoon. You don't do what you see and hear in cartoons. It's just for entertainment. But you see that right there? That's a woman. And women don't have fiancés. Two women is not supposed to be together. You understand? You see Princess Frozen? You see Princess Frozen? She got a girlfriend. That's not supposed to be. The Lord don't like that. That's not our culture. We don't operate like that. Now they put this in the cartoon. You see Bugs Bunny jumping up and down and acting a fool. Yeah, you see him put that lipstick and that dress on. Boys don't do that. Lipstick and dress, that's for mommy. That's for your sister. You see that little girl? You see that? You see how that man cartoon put that dress on? Men don't wear dresses. You understand? That's not for a man. That's not for little boys. God said a man is not supposed to wear what a woman wears. A woman is not supposed to wear what a man wears. That's out of order. Now, of course, they're not gonna fully, dive into it necessary and have no deep philosophical understanding. As far as they know, they just watching cartoons. But this is what God said to do. It's not about what you think. It's not about what I think. It's about what God said to do. You see this here? You see that? Now, why did you take that from your brother? Why did you take that from him? He this and that, and I got or said, well, why don't you share with your brother? Why can't you share with him? You don't like your brother? Like, what about how your brother feel? You see, he little, he's small, he's always into stuff. I understand he's always into stuff, but he's very young. He's very small. His understanding is not that well. Yes, it may be very annoying, but you're still family. This is still our brother. We can't just, you understand, be cruel to our brother who has very little understanding. We have to look out for him. We have to bear the infirmity of dealing with him annoying everybody. But we can't be evil to him. Now, we can't just let him run and terrorize everything either, but we have to extend mercy and grace and forgive thy brother. You understand? The Bible says, lose thy money for thy brother's sake. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt he have caused thee. I understand you upset with your brother, but he might not understand right now. But you can't just be cruel and crush him because he's still your brother. That doesn't mean you get to let him abuse you, but share with your brother. He won't always be this small. He won't always be this way. There's a time and a season where he will be this annoying baby making all this damn noise. And then he'll get bigger and he'll get teeth. And then he'll be biting the hell out of everybody. And then we're going to have to teach him to not bite everybody. But he won't stay that way. He's just young now. She's just small and is still a part of our family. We have to be merciful to them. And learning that at home will teach them to be merciful when they go to school. And teaching them that as a child will teach them that when you get your frustrations when you grow up, that you don't just go to school and just start punching everybody in the face out of your frustration. Because when mommy got frustrated, she wasn't punching me in the face as a child. You understand? Like this puts a sobering spirit. But as long as our people are in hell and we frustrated and it's the bills and then it's Christmas and I don't have my identity and I'm out here by my own and I don't have all of this and I'm trying to make ends meet and the goddamn bills and this is going up. As long as our people have the foot on our neck and we don't have the spirit of the Lord and we don't have the brotherhood and sisterhood and the universal practical knowledge to understand what's going on in our lives, you understand, we won't know how to deal with and cope with life and things. But an aged woman that has been raised, that does have the spirit of the Lord, that does have the wisdom and the universal practical knowledge that she's getting from the priest of the Lord, like this will raise her up. This will strengthen her. This will give her a way to come and get counseling and learn what to do, to learn how to deal with things, how to raise those sons, raise those daughters, if she's raising them on her own. You understand? Or directed, brother, to say this is an important job that you have, brother. You can't just be around getting high all day. You gotta get sober. You understand? There's a generation that depends on you while you out nodding off, slumped over, drooling over yourself. You understand? High off of Percocets and weed. We got to clean you up, brother. We got to get you off of this weed. We got to get you off of this alcohol. We got to get you off of this drugs, brother. You understand? We got a nation of children and generations that need you to get strong. They need you to strengthen up, brother. They need you to get it together, brother. We got to clean you. We got to grow you up. We got to put the spirit of the Lord inside of you, brother. We got people depending on us. We got to get you out of this dirt and put breath of life in your chest, brother. Put the spirit of God inside of you so that you can be a part of the force to fix all of these problems that our people have inherited. You understand? It may seem like it's not possible. Commander Junior Hunter does it every day through the spirit of the Most High in Christ. You understand? And there are sisters that put their hands forward with extraordinary abilities and their loving kindness and skill and their time and their effort and their money to pour in their abilities, you understand, to help build up this nation. You understand, to build up and strengthen and empower the men of God to fix all of the problems amongst our people. You understand? Like this is the sobering thought. Most of our people don't know we belong to a nation. That your actions and what you do is going to affect some little girl that can only look up and see you. She can only see you because she way down here. You understand? And what you say, she's going to say. And when you go and turn your butt up in front of the camera, she's going to turn her pamper up in front of the camera. And you are going to teach her that, and she won't be sober about what she's doing. She'll just follow you as you follow Cardi B, as you follow Sexy Red. And an age, you understand? And this is how we able to fix these things, man. And teach sisters how to be a princess. You understand? And why does it say this? To love their children, to be discreet, to be chaste, to be keepers at home. Good. None of this bad girl, bad bitch. I'm a bad B. I'm a bad B. You understand? We got more than our fill of bad B's. They're everywhere. They bad at cooking, bad at being a mother, bad at being a wife. They ruining marriages, destroying homes. You understand? We got enough bad everything. We don't need any more bad anything. We need good things, sober things, discreet and chaste things, keepers at home. Learning how to keep a home is a skill. You understand? It's a very important thing. Keepers at home, obedient to their own husbands. Listen to your husband. Hear what he's saying and do what he's saying. That's a skill. Most women don't know how to listen to their husband. You understand? That's a very important thing. That the word of the Most High be not blasphemed. This is very important. Young men, young brother, likewise, exhort to be sober minded. Teach a young brother to be sober, to have some thoughts in his head. That life isn't just about chasing tail and getting high, playing video games, and trying to see all the dollars in the world that you can get. There's important things in life. You can get all the dollars you want. If there's no force to fight against evil, some wicked man that's not working hard will come and steal your Kia. You better get in the ISUPK and learn how to fight against the Kia boys and learn how to change the spirit on a young brother to not go and steal your car. You understand? Or you can go and get chase all the dollars you want and figure it's somebody else's problem until you go to work and you go outside and your Kia is missing. Then you might want to think about, damn, it was some brothers telling me to get in the UPK while I had all my money and I could pay my bills and everything was going good. But damn, now my money done slowed up. The Kia boys done stole my Kia. Some brother my woman done ran off with some other man. You understand? I've been doing this and this and this, and now the same curses and problems that fall on the rest of my people then fell on me too. I'll be damned. It'd be better for you to get in the UPK and fight against these curses before one of them land on top of you. That's the wise thing to do. Or you could just wait till it happened to you, like it happens to everybody else. I'd much rather join the force to fight against the evil. That's the wise thing to do, brothers and sisters, man. So it's saying he's raising them up. The young men be sober minded. Have some sobriety about your mind. What is your identity? Where do you come from? You're not free to just go and become a Muslim because you're not empty. You're not looking for an identity. You have a sober mind. You know what your language is, the Lashawan Kwadash. You're not looking to be a Muslim because we know that the Arabs sold us into slavery. Now you're sober. You're not an African. You're not from Wakanda or Egypt. You understand? Because we know that the Hamites sold us into slavery. We spent centuries in slavery in Egypt because you have your records. Now you're sober. You got universal practical knowledge in your chest. Now you got some wisdom. You're a living soul. You got rules. You know what to eat, what not to eat. You know that sex is marriage. Now you can think sober. You can think clearly about things. You still may be a young man, but you are being encouraged to think sober. Right now, our young brothers are not encouraged to think sober. They're encouraged to turn up. Percocet, Percocet, Molly, Percocet, weed, weed, drill, drill, drill. Spin the block, spin the block, spin the block. You understand? Have some sobriety. Learn some universal practical knowledge. Get in these classes and learn some wisdom. If you are a young man, you understand, a young brother with all of the foolishness and piss poor advice that is available for young brothers and sisters now. If you are not in these ISUPK classes, you are not wise. You are not sober and wise. If you have the ability to sit in here and listen to the wisdom of the Most High that is coming out of these ISUPK classes in any city, state, school, or country that you are in, you are not wise. You are wasting a great opportunity that the Lord is affording you to learn what is actually going on around you. You understand? It may not seem like it's important now, but that is why young men are exhorted to be sober minded in all things, in everything that you do, showing thyself a pattern of good works, showing yourself a pattern of what you do, a pattern of being reliable, a pattern of being a man of your word, a pattern of integrity, a pattern of being strong, a pattern of not lying, of not stealing. You understand? Like it's very important. Your reputation goes a long way. Your reputation will meet you somewhere before you get there. And that's a very important thing to learn. Everyone won't magically forget a reputation that you were the one shooting everybody. You the one stealing everybody's cars. Yeah, I remember him. I know her. Her? Yeah, I know her. We all know her. Oh yeah, we know her. Know her well. Uh-huh. You said who? That's your what? Not her. Oh, brother. Come on, man. Listen. I can't even let you go out like that, man. No, my goodness. You know what he did? You know what she did? You understand? Have a sober mind. Our people don't think years down the line. Our people think now and 20 minutes from now or later on tonight. You understand? This is to grow our people up. Our people are the only race of people that function as children. That's why we have thousands of dollars worth of entertainment and clothes and jewelry and don't have land and property in our name, don't have a deed to anything. But we got thousands of dollars worth of vanity, entertainment, and alcohol at all of our houses as a nation of people, of course, overall. Like that's a very non sober thing. The Chinese are not wearing their wealth. The East Indians and Africans and Arabs are not wearing their wealth. You understand? They ain't throwing their money in the air anywhere in a video, swimming on the floor in their money, flashing their money in front of the camera. That's not sober. You make a poor man desperate in his situation want to come and rob you in hopes that he can improve his station. You make a scammer want to come and scam you because nobody that got real money is flashing money. You never seen Jay-Z or Oprah flashing thousands of dollars in front of the camera. You never seen Ellen DeGeneres or Donald Trump or any billionaire Warren Buffett, Robin Leach flashing money in front of the damn camera, or Tom Hanks, or what's the Lethal Weapon guy, Bruce Willis or Tom Cruise. You understand? That's not a wise thing. Rap taught us to do that. That's not a wise thing. It's not an unlawful thing to do, but it's also not wise. A lot of the Bible is to teach us to be sober minded, like sharing all your information on the internet. You understand? All your money, all your jewels, all your address. Every time you get something new, you understand? You got to be sober, have some wisdom about the actions that you are taking, because it's not, because every day above ground is not a good day. God, remember, the Lord said the days are evil. You understand? The days are evil. The days are trying to turn you out to make you a man that want to be a girl. You understand? The days are evil. And the Lord wants you to be sober minded to think about that. In all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works. What is a good work? Being in these ISUPK classes, that's a good work. Coming in here, getting you a Hebrew name, that's a good work. Doing your 90 days in all black, that's a good work. Being a sister with your head covered, brothers and sisters paying their tithes, you understand, to commanding Journal Yohana, which is the only place it's supposed to go. That's a good work. Sewing garments and braiding hair, that's a good work. You understand? This is a very important thing. In doctrine, showing uncorruptness, understanding doctrine, understanding immaculate conception is a lie, that Christmas is not Christ's birthday. The doctrine to understand that December the 25th is Nimrod's birthday. He was an evil African king in the Babylonian Empire, had sex with his mother. You understand? His own mother. Her star sits on top of the Christmas tree, or what you call a star of Semiramis or Ceramyces was his mother. She ruled one half of the Babylonian Empire. He ruled the other half of the Babylonian Empire. Even if you don't know what Babylon is, even if you like Christmas, you do understand that having an adult relationship with your mother is wrong. Everybody should understand that. Even if you like Christmas trees and the goddamn Mariah Carey songs and Merry Christmas from the Temptations, you do understand having sex with your mother is wrong, right? Well, that's who you're celebrating for Christmas. And you want to grow up and wonder why your nephews and your nieces is having sex together, and the uncle having sex with the little kids. Look what you're teaching them to celebrate. These things are spiritual. Having a sober mind will stop the evil. The actions that we take have spiritual ramifications. Having a sober mind will stop the evil. You understand? But there must be a force to stop the evil, to teach to stop doing the evil, to give wisdom and universal practical knowledge about the evil that we see every day. And you understand? That's how you combat it. And it says in doctrine showing uncorruptness and gravity, understanding the gravity of situations, the gravity of what happens, you understand, supporting your neighborhood drug dealer, the gravity of getting on Percocets and smoking weed. You understand? You keep your local drug dealer in power, or eventually rival drug dealers meet up and shoot each other. and they miss at each other a lot. You know who they won't miss? Some baby sleeping in her crib. They won't miss the baby. That baby's getting hit for sure. Some little girl riding her bike is going to catch an AK round in her back, and she's going to die instantly because you smoke weed. Some kids in the neighborhood are going to learn popping Percocets and popping pills, just like their favorite rappers. And you are going to help them get the pop pills because you provide the pills. And they're going to go and get accustomed to popping pills. And they're going to get some pills to pop. And then they're going to get some fentanyl pills one day and they're going to die at 16. And it will be your fault because you made everyone comfortable being drug addicts because you sell drugs and you take drugs. You smoke weed, you make the other people who smell your weed a part of your smoking weed. The weed and the cigarettes that you smoke influence your children to also smoke weed and cigarettes. It's in your hair, it's in your lips when you kiss them, it's on your coat when you pick them up, it's in the car, it's on you as you walk by, it's in your lungs, it's in our lungs when you walk by us, when you cough, when you sneeze, when you take your coat off. You're killing us all. Well, you should have a sober thought about what you're doing. If we all thought soberly about our actions, the Black, Hispanic, Native American community will be a much better place. And the Lord wants a man to think sober. There's a gravity that you must have about you, brother, that you must be on top of your stuff because people can't entrust their life to you if you can't do anything on time. If your word doesn't mean anything, no one can entrust their life with you. No one can be comfortable about anything if they know that they can't depend on you to follow up on what you're supposed to do. I can't put important things in your hand. Your woman is not going to be able to trust you if she knows you mess up at everything. If you have an excuse about everything. Why didn't you do this? Oh, I forgot. Why didn't you do this? Oh, I didn't remember. Why didn't you do this? Oh, I was going to get to it. Why didn't you do this? Damn, you right. I was supposed to. Well, a young man needs to learn he has to stop that before he becomes a man. You got to stop that, brother. How will you manage 2 and 3 wives, brother? How will you manage a family? How will you manage disorganized children? How will you manage the resources that your wives are supposed to bring to you to make you stronger? How will you manage sons? How will you manage multiple homes? How will you manage bank accounts and finances, brother? Everybody doesn't have to be great at everything, but a man must have a sober mind. You understand? All the tail you chasing, you're responsible for it once you get it. You understand? You got to learn to speak and carry yourself in a manner that will command respect. You got to do that. It's a skill, it's a virtue. You got to have gravity. You understand? She might be a beautiful woman to get with, but can you make her listen to you? Will she bring you her money? Will she obey you? Will she change her outfit when you say that's too revealing? You can't wear that. I don't want you wearing that. You can't go out the house representing me like that. Is she for herself or is she for you? This is gravity because you can't unhave sex with her once you pick her. You can't undo it. This is permanent, brother. Children play with sex. That's a permanent decision. You can't come from under that. You can change your mind all you want. Permanent is permanent according to God. Now you have gravity with your decisions. Now you aren't making foolish, dumb, childish decisions that destroy entire neighborhoods and communities. I understand you got a gun. You got a gun. All right, you went and got you a gun. Did you get training with your gun? Do you know the laws with your gun? You have a permit to carry that concealed? Do you know the rules about that firearm? Officer Mataza Kara and myself sat in the courtroom one day handling some business for the school. We sat in the courtroom, and the amount of Black and Latinos sitting in jail because Virginia allows them to legally purchase a firearm and they don't know any of the rules or laws regulating the sale, the carrying, the concealment, the use of firearms, the sale, the distribution. They in jail facing felony charges because they had rights from the state, but they did not know how to wield power. You understand? Learning how to wield power, that's a gravity. Being able to purchase a rifle, an assault rifle, a pistol, a revolver. It takes gravity to understand the civilian varied of that. Learning a martial arts, learning jujitsu or boxing, how to choke, how to defend yourself, how to unalive. You understand? Taking a woman, learning how to be responsible to pick up on spirits, to protect your sons, your daughters, your family, your community, what to say, what not to say, where to go, where not to go. You have lives in your hand, or you will one day, young man, and you must learn that to teach them gravity. Whatever foolish thought is in your head, the Lord gave us facts that are spiritual, that govern everything you see and do not see. That's a doctrine. That's what you base your life on. Your feelings will change. When you're young, you might feel as strong as an ox until you hurt that knee that first time. You get a good knee injury, a lot of that feeling will change. The word of the Lord will not change. It's guaranteed. And this is what you base your life on. That's having a sober mind. That will lengthen your days of life upon the earth. That's what God said. That's what the Lord said. You understand? This is what he wants in the spirit of our people. You understand? That in all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, being sincere, sound speech. Know what you're talking about. Don't be staggering and stumbling and learn what you're talking about. If you have to speak, practice speaking. If you have to do something, practice doing it. Prepare yourself. Don't just hope for the best when you get there. Did you prepare? Did you practice? Did you try? Did you write it down? Did you say it out loud to yourself? Did you rehearse it? Did you listen to it? Did you strive for mastery of it? That's important. We trying to build a nation. Our oppressors strive for mastery. The Arabs strive for mastery. The Asians strive for mastery. The East Indians strive for mastery. We trying to build a nation. They got hundreds of years of head start. Most of our people don't have their identity. There's a gravity of work to be done, young man. I hope you're being sober. There's weight. You're not just free to do and think whatever silliness and Illuminati and Egypt and weed and dreadlocks and I'm gonna be my own man. No, no, no. You're already a man born to a team, born to a nation with many enemies that you must learn quickly how to deal with because they're all here to devour your people. You understand? Precept, Jeremiah 12 and 9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds of the other nations, the birds around gather to devour her. They're here to eat you. You better catch up. You better learn. They're not here for no reason. This will give you gravity. This will teach your young Black, Hispanic, and Native American son to not become a teenager unaliving other Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans because he'll have some gravity and sobriety about what he's doing, about why he's doing this. You understand? That is what's needed. There's a lot of childishness and play amongst our people because the Christian church does not teach our people to grow up. It doesn't teach us the spirit of the Lord. You understand? It says sound speech that cannot be condemned. Know what you're saying. Say something with a purpose. Don't just be running your mouth saying whatever. Have a purpose as to why you are saying things because your words need to matter. It needs to matter what you say. People need to respect what you say. People need to honor at your words if you're going to serve the Lord because they will be getting instructions from God from your mouth. You understand? They'll be getting instructions about how to follow your words and live or not follow your words and lose their lives. It's very important. And there's a certain way that you have to live so that anyone gives a damn about what you say at all. You have to live that way. And this you teach a young man. And this will put your son in a spirit so that he grows up sober, grave, and strong, with ability, with a head, with focus. You understand? So that he can grow and become a righteous warrior for the Lord in the Israelite school of UPK to fix all of the problems of his people. You understand? Sound speech that cannot be condemned. You know what you're talking about. I know that we're not Egyptians. The Bible said it's here. From Babylon to Timbuktu says this here. The Library of Congress says this here. That's why we're not beating tambourines and singing in the ISUPK. You are learning knowledge. There's books. We got textbooks. The 13th tribe, the Black Indians, Nature Knows No Color Lines, $40 million slave, the 13th tribe, from Babylon to Timbuktu. You understand? We got textbooks, 100 years of lynching, the Bible, the Apocrypha. We doing lectures. Captain Katazar writing books. Captain Napatazar Alaban writing books. We doing lectures. We doing speakings. We going into history and records so that your son is not empty, so that the damn nut on YouTube can fill him up with conspiracies about Egypt and aliens and magical beings having sex with other people's wives, making 100 foot tall people. A bunch of nonsense that is not believed by anybody except suckers who buy hundreds of dollars and millions of dollars of crystals and DVDs from scam artists like Polite and Malachi York and Bobby Hemmett and Alex Jones. You understand? Anyone who wants to sucker people into believing their religion. Well, if you have an empty headed son or daughter, they'll fall right in. They'll fit right in the church. They don't know anything about anything because you don't know anything to teach them. But in here, you learn the secrets to the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. You learn some real knowledge. You learn some real wisdom, something that doesn't change generation to generation, century to century, empire to empire. These things don't change. The Lord loved you enough to leave you records and instructions for his children, you understand, to make you his chosen people above all the other people that he created on the earth. You understand? This is how you harness that power and ability that the Lord has already built inside of you. It says sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed. He that doesn't have sound speech might be ashamed. Young brother, you got to come learn about Allah. We got to come learn about Allah. And Allah is God. And it's all the same. That's not true. What you mean, young brother? It's not true. No, that's not true at all. Allah is not God. Allah is who the Arabs call God. You understand? That's not true. That's a rock sitting in Mecca. They don't have nothing to do with our people. We all once, no, we all weren't once nothing. The Lord made everybody separate from the Tower of Babel. Well, the motherland, life doesn't start in Africa, brother. No history records start life in Africa. Every true historian knows life started, you understand, in Mesopotamia, in Phoenicia. Those places are in the Middle East. The Tower of Babel has always been in the Middle East. The cradle of civilization has always been in the Middle East. It has never been in Africa. And black people were never Africans. You understand? All dark skinned people aren't the same. Now you speak in wisdom. You understand? You speak in wisdom from the Most High. The Bible say Jerusalem is the mother of us all. Life started in the Garden of Eden. That's in the Middle East. It's in the land of Israel. That's where we come from. The Arabs sold your people into slavery. Hey, old brother, can I ask you a question, older brother? Are you an Arab? What you mean, am I an Arab? I'm a Muslim. No, brother. Are you an Arab? Did your people come over here on cargo slave ships? Or did you go to prison and learn to be a Muslim? Just like Malcolm X did. Well, listen, brother. Well, listen, brother. No, I'm asking a serious question because you're trying to tell me to serve the God of a people that put us in slavery. Man, shalom, brother. Salam, brother. You understand? You got some real wisdom inside of you now. Like this is an important thing to have because everyone is suckering your people into everything, but you won't be a sucker available to be eaten. It says sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary, he that doesn't have sound speech, may be heart, may be ashamed. He come tell you that Jesus Christ was immaculately conceived and he was born with the spirit of the Most High. Well, John the Baptist was born with the spirit of the Lord upon him from birth too. So Jesus got John the Baptist's mama pregnant too? Did God put his magical angel sperm inside of her mama too? Man, it don't say that. It's right here, chapter and verse, brother. It says they're born with the spirit of the Lord from birth. Man, who Who wrote that Bible? Who wrote that Bible? The Bible been tampered with. Now they be shamed because really they shouldn't open their mouth. They should be learning. They should be in class. They shouldn't be trying to teach and spread whatever they think or feel that's going to put a couple of dollars in their pocket. And in reality, if we all weren't listening to these scam artists and these hustlers, we would have tons of wealth amongst our people. Most of our wealth is being galvanized by a bunch of scam artists and hustlers. You understand? They scamming our people. The Christian church has collected $500 billion from black people. That's money. That's every last penny and dollar needed for all the affordable housing, the farms, the schools, the grocery stores, the construction projects, everything that we need to pay for many, many, many times over. But our people love scam artists that lie to them. If we turn back and stop making them rich, every bit of wealth that we need, we already have as a people. All of it. The treasuries of Christian churches have robbed people blind. It's a wonder black people are not dragging pastors out of the churches into the street. You understand? The amount of robbery that they've done to our people, not just robbing us of money, robbing us of our spirit, of our love, of the life that the Lord had afforded for us, that he would have provided had we been taught to obey him. You understand? And this is what the Lord is saying, that a young man is supposed to have this this sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. They can't say nothing evil. Well, what did he say? He said, according to the Bible, that black people, so-called Negroes, are the real Jews. The Bible says the Jews are black. It says that Deuteronomy 28, they going into slavery with ships. It said we would be in the land of the north. And it said that we would have no man to save us. We were black unto the ground. King Solomon said he's black with gold chains and gold teeth in his mouth. The Bible talking about salty food and seasoning the meat. Like this is talking about black people. You can't say this is wrong. It say we hid in prison houses. We in the ghetto. We on reservations. We in the barrios. We in all the jails and the prisons, in the damn courthouse, on the roof or down in the basement. You understand? This is what the Bible says. The Jewish man ain't in jail. He not black. He don't have gold chains and grills in his mouth. He ain't eating a bunch of salty food filled with high blood pressure and INS detention center, diabetes, getting shot in the street, strung out on drugs. He not living that way. He don't fit the criteria. You can't be against what I'm saying. I can prove it. You understand? Like this is what the Bible is talking about. The Lord want to put some real wisdom inside of you. You understand? It says exhort, verse 9 says exhort servants to be obedient unto their own masters. The brothers and sisters that come in there, obey them that have rule over you. Follow the orders. You understand? Keep in your communication. Follow those orders. Pay your tithes. Be there to the, you understand, to the high holy days. Make sure you follow the orders that's laid down. You understand? Like the Lord put men above you for a reason, and to please them well in all things, not answering again, not going back and forth 100 times with them. Like this, what it says in the Bible. You understand? Like this is what the Lord is talking about. This is how we do things. This is how we repair ourselves and our people as a nation that the Lord always wanted. Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 19, it says, and ye shall teach them your children. Teach these laws to your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thy house. When you sit in your house, you speak about these things. You understand? Teach them when you sitting in the house. And when thou walkest by the way, when you walking by the way, teach them. When you walking around, you seeing things. You understand? Make sure when you seeing things, tell them what you seeing. You remember that you just saw? Remember when we went there? Now watch this. Now watch what's getting ready to happen. They over there doing this and this. Ain't got no business with that. You understand? That right there, son, you're not supposed to be with nobody else's woman. You saw that fight that just broke out? We getting ready to leave. They getting ready to fight in a minute. I don't see it. Don't worry about it. Come on, let's go. I'll tell you in the car. Come on, we leaving. We'll go somewhere else. Now sit right here. Watch this. You see this? What you doing here? What you doing here? This and that, that. What you doing with my woman? This, and that. Now you see that? You ain't supposed to be with nobody else's woman. She wrong and he wrong. Now this whole thing turned up into a fight. Next thing you know, everybody's scared and running. Fists might get thrown, shots might get fired, all kind of stuff. Stuff like this happens all the time because the Lord gave us laws. You ain't supposed to be with no other man's woman. Going out to drinks, getting lunch, nothing. You understand? You don't know how that man gonna take it, sitting out there. And the Lord said not to do it. Say, yeah, I see, Dad, I see. He's like, wow. I say, yeah, like that's not right. That make the Lord angry. And when the Lord get angry, this is what happens. And they'll learn. They'll be able to learn from that. It might not seem like it's important, but think about what Sexy Red is teaching your son. What has Cardi B been teaching your daughter? Cardi B been around your daughter's entire life. And even if you don't teach your daughter Cardi B and Sexy Red, you send them to school 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. You understand? Sexy Red is unavoidable. Cardi B is unavoidable. You understand? Molly Percocet's Lean Future is unavoidable. You sending them to school, they're going to the jungle in 9 times out of 10. You understand? The damn teachers is barely surviving, being locked in the damn school with your kids all day. You understand? Like this wisdom that the Lord said to do is important. You understand? When you sittest at the house, when thou liest down, when you lie down, and when thou risest up. So make sure you lie down. When you get up in the morning, when you lie down, teach them these laws. What did the Lord say? I know you might go see your grandmother and stuff, and they get up in the morning, you might smell this and that cooking. But when you get up in the morning and you hungry, remember this. As hungry as you get, don't you ever put a piece of pork in your mouth. As hungry as you get, don't you ever eat this. As hungry as we get, don't ever eat this. You lying down and you this, and this, don't ever do this. Don't ever lie down with another man's woman. Remember this all the days of your life. This is what the Lord said to say. Not about what I think, not about what you think. God said to say this. Because guess what? The soap operas that grandmas watch, I don't know if grandmas still watch soap operas. Grandmas is 30 now. I guess they watching Love and Hip Hop or, whatever. But the soap operas that grandma was watching while we were being babysit was teaching us all of that old scandalous General Hospital, Bold and the Beautiful, God and Light, everybody having sex with somebody else's husband. And the brother and the dad is passing around the same broad and she just in love and can't control herself. Guess what? Your kids is learning that. Grandma ain't paying attention to what she's showing them. She ain't spiritual. She teaching you all kind of the back door this and that and sneaking out to this and going on secret trips, vacation with somebody else's wife. They still doing it. Okay, Most High in Christ. They watching the goddamn housewives shows. What you doing with my man? This and that. Man, your man ain't doing this and that right. But yes, I went to All-Star Weekend with Tavon. Yeah, I went there and what? If you did this, and this, I would have never went with Tavon. Get your stuff together, this, and that. The next thing you know, her and your mama fight. You and Tavon fighting on the damn show. You understand? To tune in to season 3. That's what they learning. Oh, and the goddamn Tyler Perry show. Some 6-foot nigga in a dress with a wig on and lipstick, and he the hardest one on the whole show. You understand? Like we don't know what we exposing our kids to. Don't ever think something that the Lord said to teach your kids is too much because nobody gives a damn what they teach your kids anywhere else. They got drag show day at the school. They let a registered sex offender put on a wig and a dress, and he can pretend to be Michelle, and now he get to work with kids again. You understand? Like the Lord said, this is your wisdom. Don't count on what you think is wise and right. God said, this is your wisdom in the sight of the nations. You think the Arabs ain't teaching their children about how to be a Muslim? You think the Chinese ain't teaching? There's some video on YouTube where the Chinese, they got all of Miss Wong's third grade class blindfolded, stripping down and breaking down an AK-47, taking apart the spring, the bolt carrier group, the release latch, the trigger guard. Then they take it, reassemble it, put the rail back in there, do this, put it together, lay it back on the desk. You think they teaching their children this old silly nonsense and shy about their culture and what they supposed to learn? You think they holding their stuff back from their kids? No, they're not. The Lord said, this is your wisdom. We've been in a fairy tale world all of our life. That's why they all have an advantage over us. You bet teach your kids ain't no goddamn Santa Claus. Ain't no Easter bunny. Rabbits don't lay eggs, son. Rabbits give birth to live babies. They don't lay eggs. That's a lie. You understand? Jesus was born in the spring. We don't celebrate birthdays. We don't celebrate that. We don't do that. Anybody that's waiting for a special day to treat you like you worth something, you don't need to be around them. If you love me this one day a year, every year, skip that day. Don't love me at all. If you think about me because I'm special on this day, forget this day and don't let me be special to you ever. Keep it that way. You understand? Don't make a day something special. The days God said are special is the Feast of Tabernacles, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Day of Atonement, the Passover. Those are special days. Those are high holy days. The Lord wants you to treat each other like you worth something every day. If you want cake, buy yourself some damn cake. You want ice cream, buy yourself ice cream tomorrow. Get the ice cream. You grown now. Grow the hell up. 40 years old, nigga. This is my birthday party. Big ass here. Your birthday. Grown goddamn man. If I want cake tomorrow, I'll buy a whole goddamn cake tomorrow. If I want ice cream tomorrow, I'll buy a whole thing of ice cream tomorrow. If I want a candle, I'll cut all the lights off in my house and light a goddamn candle. But I don't need you singing me no goddamn song. Grow the hell up. Grow up. Stop waiting for one day to treat people like you love them. Love them every day. Don't love them at all. But all of this fake nonsense, especially around this time with this holiday garbage, all of this fake stuff, the Bible says, with lies, you have saddened the hearts of the righteous. And because our lives have been based around nothing but lies, everybody's depressed. Everybody's sad. Everybody bought into a lie that they thought some magic was going to happen. And now 20, 30, 40, 50 and a half years of believing in magic, you realize that there is no magic. They lied to you. It didn't just magically work out. Everything didn't fall out the sky. Like it wasn't true. Like they lied to you. They scammed you. I'm here to save you from the lie. I'm not here. The Spirit of the Lord is here to save us from the lies and the scams so that they can't hustle us, man. They can't hustle you. You understand? You don't need to go. Some sister needs to hear this. Thousands of people wear and watch our shows. You understand? Do not go and buy a behind to put on top of your behind because you have a flat behind. Don't do that. Tons of sisters is getting the damn BBLs and you're dying to get them. The damn fake implants is bursting. The fluid is leaking into your lungs. It's getting to your heart. Sisters is dying left and right. You look like a goddamn wisdom tooth. Don't do it. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. You understand? If you got a small features and things, those are fine. There are brothers that love the small features or the big features or whatever features you have. If you are a single sister, don't let some sodomite on a goddamn music video that's really some 6 foot nigga who wants to wear heels named Saucy Santana doing all your choreography. Don't let him make you believe that you need to go and buy something to make you a woman. God already made you a woman. You understand? It's a bunch of alternative lifestyle men that despise you for being a real natural born woman, that make you believe that you need to go and buy some extra parts to be a better woman. Stop that. You understand? Brothers have always loved skinny sisters, fat sisters, slim sisters, big sisters, light sisters, dark sisters, burnt ones, chocolate ones, caramel ones, high yellow ones. Don't let some sodomite trick you into chopping up your goddamn face and your body trying to fit into his ideal that he wished he could be a better woman. And when he sees you, he despises you because you are something he could never be. There's a ton of that nonsense going on too. And sisters need to be delivered from that. Need to be delivered from that nonsense. You understand? You understand? It's toxic as hell, and it comes from home. It comes from alternative lifestyle men. That's where it comes from. You understand? Men don't want that much. Sandwich and be quiet a little bit more, and you're good. Don't spend up all the goddamn money. Don't wreck the car. Don't make a bunch of bills. Bring the money back here. It's not a very big list. You might have to give a little more, a little less here and there, depending on your husband. You don't need all this extra stuff. Before y'all come along, the house is just a few things as it is. You the ones that need all of this nonsense. Men don't need no whole bunch of nonsense. You understand? It's just free stuff, just to help sisters out. There's a lot of demons that exploit sisters in your misery, and you're afraid and you don't know what to do because Christianity has made you strong and independent and single, and this society has destroyed your community to where you are the only female on the planet that believes that you are supposed to live a life independent from the male of your family, of your species. That's a curse. That's evil. That's satanic. That's why it says in the Bible, an older sister is supposed to teach a younger sister how to be a wife and a mother. You understand? Because that's what will keep us sober. All right. And we up over the time. So we're going to pick up here next week. All right. Everybody, make sure that you pay your tithes. Make sure that you go and check out the new video, Commanding Journey Honda's channel, of the mission we did in Harlem, New York. You understand? Barakatah Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai, getting clothing in desperate winter need to thousands of brothers and sisters. You understand? Our migrant families coming from Latin America and the Caribbean up here, stranded in New York, trying to get a better life and everything. You understand? Make sure you check out the videos, like, share, subscribe, go through our video list, leave the comments, hit the thumbs up, make sure you share them everywhere. Be sure to pay your tithes right at isupk.com. You understand? All right. And with that, I'm going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakathum. To the sisters, Yahweh Shamar. Alathun by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Want to make sure y'all keep tuning in right here. Hebrew language class is going to be on Friday. With that, shalom. The water.